and welcome to Mrs Patnell's Maths Day 1 of this week. Okay, so we are going to look this week at a topic of money. And in the early years, in reception class, money is a bit like time, in that the early girl asks that children are able to use everyday language associated with money, to recognise the coins as well, and to use their language when they're describing a coin. A bit like you might describe two-dimensional shapes in the early years as well. They're kind of all very similar with what they ask of the children in these areas. So yes, it's using everyday language, being able to recognise a coin and using descriptive words to describe those coins, and also being able to do a bit of adding between the two, recognising that some are worth more than others, and being able to say which person has more money than the other person, or if they can afford to buy a certain thing. Okay, so using money in everyday situations is a good one for early years as well. So we are going to start this lesson with the number of the day first of all. So you've, in my class, pretty much all got these lovely mats that you're using now, or you've wrote your own ones on bits of paper, which has really impressed me, guys. So your number of the day to fill in on your map today after this lesson, or pause this and do it now. You have a choice. You can either go for number 3, so a nice one today to ease you in this week, or number 13. Okay, so 3 or 13. Pick the one that is going to challenge you the most. Okay, so that's for your number of the week mat. Now we're going to count a little bit using our 100 square. We're going to count in 2s to 60, I think. We're going to push ourselves up to number 60, counting in 2s. Now, some of my class I have seen coloured in their 100 squares for every number that they say when they're counting in 2s, and found a nice pattern of certain columns that get coloured in on the 100 square when you count in 2s. So they are all the ones that end in 2s, all the ones that end in a 4, all the ones that end in a 6, the ones that end in an 8, and on the very end, the ones that end in a 0, okay? So they're all the ones we count when we're counting in 2s from the number 2. And they are indeed all the even numbers as well. Remember even numbers, if I showed you an even number with the numicon, every whole would have a partner, because you would be able to share out one on each plate and halve them completely with not any left over. So even numbers can be halved perfectly with not one number left over. Okay, so when we count in 2s, starting at the number 2, we are doing all the even numbers, all the ones that could be halved. It's quite interesting to know. So when you're counting in 2s, you're taking on lots of things. You're taking on board the even numbers, a bit of halving in your mind, also being able to add 2 on each time you count, and it will eventually help with your 2 times table when you move on to year 1 and year 2. Okay, so we're going to count in 2s to 60. We are going to start with 2. Each time we are jumping over one number and landing on the next one. So actually we're jumping, adding 2 on each time, okay? We're jumping over one and landing on the next one, but that would look like 2 jumps if we were jumping every number with our finger. Okay, so we're adding 2 each time. Hopefully you can see my 100 square okay. Let's do it together. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, jump over 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60. Well done, and that's where we're stopping today with our counting in 2s. I think probably now we'll have a go at singing the days of the week, just so we don't forget our time language from last week. So let's pop my days of the week up on here. Hopefully you can see those all on the camera. So remember, I put them round in a circle because when you get to Sunday, the week just goes on and then repeats itself into next week. So it's a constant ongoing circle of days, okay? 7 days make a whole week, but then when you go into week 2, you just start again with those same days going round and round and round, okay? So we do it to the tune of the Addams Family, if you've not done it with us before, and we like to clap a bit at the end, so I need to know my board can support itself. So there's Monday and there's Tuesday, there's Wednesday and there's Thursday, there's Friday and there's Saturday, and then there's Sunday. Days of the week, clap, clap. Days of the week, clap, clap. Fantastic! So let's pop our days of the week down there. Now, before we move on to our money, I just want to address a little bit of estimating as well, which we started last week, and many of you were very, very good at, in fact. So, and those of you who built your models as well from the challenge at the beginning of the week and had to set facts for your adults to estimate, they were fantastic. Some really good stuff there. So pat yourselves on the back if you did that challenge. Really good work. Okay, so these are my crisps today. Hopefully you can see those. I can't tilt it too much because they'll fall off, all right? But they are my crisps. I think probably we'll zoom in on those so you can have a good look at them. They're my hula hoops, beef ones, my favourite. So have a good look at the plate. Don't count them because that's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to estimate them. Remember, an estimate is your best guess. So it wouldn't be your best guess if you looked at this plate and you said 173 crisps. That would be a crazy guess, okay? It wouldn't be an estimate, just a crazy guess. You've got to be asking yourself questions when you look at this. You've got to be saying, does it look like there's more than 5 on that plate? Imagine what 5 hula hoops would look like. Are there more than 5 on that plate? Do I think there's as many as 20 on that plate? What would 20 look like? Does it look like 20 or is it less? Ask yourselves these questions before you make your absolute best guess. Remember, don't count, just your best guess, okay? Right, you can pause the video now. Maybe you're going to ask some adults in the room with you what you think, how many hula hoops are on the bowl. But we're going to count them together now, okay? So, I will count them onto the table, just so we can check, okay? So, I think I'm probably going to tilt the camera a little so you can see the table. There we go. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't be changing your answer if you've got 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There were 16 beef hula hoops on my plate. If you estimated 16, that is amazing, well done. If you estimated, let's say 13, 14 or 15, amazing. Or 17, 18 and 19, absolutely brilliant as well. Any numbers close to those, also very good, okay? But if you said like 112, not the best estimation, okay? I've just noticed how I've laid them out when I counted them in ones, that I've laid them out so they've all got a partner. They are sitting in twos. So we can already see that 16, as they all have a partner, 16 must be an even number, absolutely. So I could halve 16 perfectly as well, right up the middle, and have the same on both sides. But because they're placed in twos, I'm going to count them back into the bowl to put them away, but I'm going to count them in twos, which we did at the beginning of the lesson. We can do that now. So I'm going to pick up 2 each time, not 1, because I'm counting 2 each time, like we did on the 100 square. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. That was a lot quicker than having to count them all back in ones again. That was a much better way of doing it. Okay, right, so I'm going to leave the camera where it is now because I want you to see mainly what I'm holding up here and placing on the table than my face. I'm sure it'd be much better for you. So, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about money. I want to show you just 2 different types of coins today, okay? I want to start by showing you this coin. All right, you might have some with you because those people in my class I sent a message to say to have some real money. Now at the moment it's quite tricky to find some real money. Not many shops are serving with real money. So if you needed to get change of a £10 note or something to get these coins, then it's tricky to get them. I know I had a bit of harder trouble myself. Okay, but this is what's known as a £1 coin. All right, so don't worry if you've had to print some off of the internet maybe. But just notice what it looks like. Perhaps we can zoom in on that in a moment. It has 2 colours on a £1 coin. It is gold around the edge, and it is a silver colour in the middle. Okay, now that is a £1 coin. It has, if you feel it with your finger, it doesn't feel perfectly like a circle. It has lots of tiny sides that are so sort of small you can barely see it, and to look at it you would think it was a circle. But if you run your finger around it, you will notice it has many, many tiny little straight sides to it, okay? So that is a £1 coin. Now, the other one we're going to look at today is a £2 coin. Now, not overly helpful in that it is gold around the outside and silver in the middle. So it is the same, they have the same colours as a £1 coin. So it makes it a little tricky. But if I was to place the £1 coin over the top of the £2, you will notice an instant difference. You can zoom in on that maybe. You will notice, what do you notice? You will notice that the £1 coin is much smaller than the £2 coin because you can see the £2 coin poking itself out around the edge at the back. It's much bigger, the £2 coin, than the £1 coin. Okay, so that's a difference already. £2 coin is much bigger. It's worth more money than the £1 coin, and it's bigger. So that's quite helpful. Worth more and bigger than the £1 coin. Okay. Now they've both got the Queen's head on the front there, and if I feel the £2 coin, actually that is a perfect circle. So if you've got one there with you, a real one, you could run your finger around it and feel that that one, the £2 coin, is actually a lovely perfect circle. So that's something that's different about them as well. £2 coin, perfect circle. £1 coin, lots of tiny little straight sides on there, okay, which you can only really feel when you rub your finger around it. Now, a £1 coin, as I say, is worth a lot less than a £2 coin. So a £2 coin is actually worth, and I'll put these in my hand so you can see them. One £2 coin is worth the same as 2 £1 coins. Okay, so 1 £2, but that is worth £2 by itself. Okay, so this equals, imagine we have an equal sign here, the same as 2 £1 coins. They are worth the same amount of money. Even though I've only got 1 coin in my hand, it doesn't mean I have less money. They are the same amount. Okay. All right, that's important to remember. Okay, also what's very important to know is that a £1 coin is worth 100, so a penny for every number on the 100 square, 100 of those tiny copper brown 1 penny coins. So £1 is 100 pennies. It's another important thing to remember, okay? So if £1 coin is worth 100 pennies, a £2 coin, which is worth double the amount, would not be 100 pennies but 200 pennies. 100 and another 100 would be 200. So that would be worth 200 1 penny pieces. Okay, so these pounds are worth a lot more than pennies. Okay, these are worth more money. It's a bit more exciting if you open your purse and find the £1 or £2 coins compared to the penny coins. Okay, so they're worth a lot more. Right, okay, so I am going to show you some amounts using £1 coins. I would like you at home, if you've got some £2 coins there, or you've got some pretend ones that you have made, I want you to try and make the same amount that I'm showing you in £1 coins, but I want you to make it using £2 coins. Okay, let's see how we get on. So I'm going to use the back of my yellow mat here to help them show up a bit better. So I'm going to place 1, 2, 3, 4. £4 coins there. I can't tilt it too much because they'll all roll off my sheet. But 4 £1 coins. Could you at home pause the video using your £2 coins? Could you make the same amount? Okay, so I'm going to put an equals here, and I want to know how much with the same amount but in £2 coins. I've got £4 here, 4 £1 coins. How can I do the same amount of money using £2 coins? Okay, hopefully you pause the video to have a go yourself. Here are my £2 coins, okay, much bigger, remember, and they are a perfect circle. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 £1 coins there. I want to make the same amount in £2 coins. Now it might be tempting to count out, and I will just point out that I've only got 3 real £2 coins. I have to move on to paper ones if I want more than 3, because I couldn't get any more than that today. So apologies for that. If I use the paper ones, they are the equivalent of £2. Okay, a bit tricky to remember, but I couldn't get any more £2 coins. Okay, so it might be tempting, and you might have at home got £2 coins and counted out 4 coins as well. Okay, you might have said, oh, there's the same, 4 of those. So 4 £2 coins must be the same. Okay. 4 coins equals 4 coins. But that's not right, remember, because each one of these £2 coins is worth £2. You'd have to touch it twice when you're counting. For each time you touch, it's a pound, okay? So if I'm trying to make £4, let's drag these back, I would place this next to it. Hopefully you can zoom in on that. I would place only 2, 1, 2, £2 coins, because let's count them, let's add them together by touching each one twice, because they're worth £2. Okay, so I've got 4 £1 coins here. I want to see I've got £4 on the other side. 1, £2, 3, £4. 4 £1 coins is the same as 2 lots of £2 coins, because each one is worth £2. So I have to touch it twice when I'm counting it for every pound that it is worth. Okay, so that would be your answer to that one. Hopefully you got that right. If you did, give yourself a pat on the back. Okay, let's drag away my £2 coins. This time I'm going to place, count them with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 £1 coins. 6 £1 coins on this side. Let's just pencil in my equals a bit better again because it's rubbing away. I want you to make the same amount of money, not the same number of coins, but the same amount of money on the other side, on the other equals side. So I've got £6 here. What would that look like if it's made up of £2 coins? How could I make £6 using £2 coins? Stop the video now to have a go with your £2 coins, and then we're going to do it together. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 £1 coins. So I need £6 on the other side of my equal sign to make it an equal balance, the same on each side. Remember, when I touch a £2 coin, I have to touch it twice when I'm adding it up because it's worth £2. Okay, so I am going to put down this 1, 2, 3 £2 coins. And now I'm going to touch them both, all of them rather, twice to see how many I end up with. Okay, so I want £6 on this side, so it matches the amount on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. £6 on this side and £6 on this side. It's an equal balance. They are equal the same. Now, if you want to challenge yourself, you might not need to touch the coin twice. You might think, well, I can count in twos, Mrs Patnell. We've been doing this at the beginning of the lesson. We did it with the hula hoops. I'm just going to touch each coin once, but count in twos each time because each one is worth £2. So I could say 2, 4, 6, and that would take me half the time because I've counted in twos. So I know that 6 £1 coins is the same as 3 £2 coins. Right, let's try one more of these. Let's move away my £2 coins. Now I've got 6 there already. If I add 2 more, how many will I have on this side? 6, add 2 more. Maybe look on the 100 square, 6 and 2 more jumps. Have a look on yours at home. You should come up with the answer 8. I now have 8 £1 coins on this side. I've got my equal sign. I want to balance them up on both sides so there's the same amount of money on each side. Not the same number of coins, the same amount of money. So I've got £8 here in £1 coins, and now I want to make £8 on the other side using £2 coins. Okay? So pause the video now to have your go using your £2. And now we're going to do it together. So I am going to place this down on the other side of my equals sign to say what's on both sides is equal. They're worth the same amount, okay? But like a weighing scales, and they're exactly the same. They're balanced, okay? So 8 £1 coins here. Remember, I don't want 8 coins on the other side. I want £8. So your coins have to be added up to make £8, all right? So if you put 8 £2 coins on this side, it's not quite right, okay? So I can remember touch each one twice because it's worth £2 to add up how much money I've got. So let's do that first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. £8. £8 on this side, £8 on this side. It's balanced. Or challenge yourself, you could have done and counted in 2s while touching each coin. 2, 4, 6, 8. Remember, only touch the coin once then because you're counting in 2s and not in 1s, okay? Makes it a lot quicker if you can do that counting in 2s. So that's what 8 £1 coins look like, but this is what it looks like in £2 coins. Okay, so I think I'm going to drag all my money over now here. Pop over there. Now we're going to try one more thing before the end of the lesson. I have got 2 wallets here. I've got wallet number 1 and wallet number 2. Now I'm going to put some money into these wallets, okay? Then I'm going to place them on the table, take out the coins and lay them in front of the envelope so you can see what envelope 1 had and what envelope 2 had, okay? Then I want you to point to the screen to tell me which one has the most money, okay? Not the biggest number of coins, but the most money. So you're going to have to do some adding and you're going to have to check those coins to see if they're £2 or £1 or even a mixture of the 2 if we're getting super tricky near the end. Okay, so we're going to put this under the table and I'm going to put some coins in here. So envelope 1 has some coins. Now let's look at envelope 2. Okay, so let's imagine that envelope 1 is your envelope, okay? So this is your money. And let's imagine that envelope 2 is, oops, is my money, which I've just thrown everywhere, is my money, okay? So 2 is mine and 1 is yours. So I'm going to tip out now and put in front of the envelope how much money is in there, okay? I'll put them close to one another so you can see when the camera zooms in that some are bigger than the others, so you can tell what coin it is. So look very closely. Remember, they're both gold with silver in the middle, so you're going to have to look at size, okay? Right, so who do we think has the most money? Is it you with number 1? And here are your coins here, your 3 coins in front. Or is it me with wallet number 2 with my 2 coins in front? Okay? Pause the video if you want to have a little think about it, or zoom in and have a look at those coins to really work it out. But now we're going to do it together. Your wallet, wallet number 1, okay, has 3 coins, which are more coins than I've got, but they are all the same size, okay? If I pile them on top of each other, oops, they are all the same size, okay? They are the smaller £1 coin. But I've got 3 of those. So I'm just going to count in 1s to add them up because they're all worth £1. 1, 2, 3. So you've got £3. What have I got in envelope 2? I've only got 2 coins. Don't feel sorry for me yet though. If I lift them up, you can see, hopefully, but the one in front is smaller than the one behind. So this smaller one is worth £1. This bigger one is worth £2. So I'm going to have to add £2 to £1, okay? So we can touch this coin twice. Let's hold them in one hand. So this one I have to touch twice because it's worth £2. This one just once because it's only £1. So 1, 2, 3. I've got £3. And you've got £3. Who's got the most money? None of us. We both have the same amount of money. Not the same number of coins, but the same amount of money. Okay, that's nice. None of us are richer than the other. Okay, I'm going to do this another time with my 2 envelopes. So I'm going to put in here, let's be a little bit more generous this time. So your envelope and then my envelope. Okay, let's see what we've got this time. So in your envelope, envelope number 1, let's tip it out in my hand. Oh, look, let's lay them out here and then we'll chat about them using our language of coins. Okay, now you can see, even though I've laid them out, not one on top of each other, that they are all indeed the same size, okay? So then we've just got to decide what coin it is, all right? Now, it is the smaller one because if I feel my finger across it, it has all of those lots of short, sharp sides to it. Not sharp so much, but short sides. So I know it's not the one that's a perfect circle, and it's quite small. So it must be a £1 coin, as are all of them in your envelope. So I'm going to count them, but only in ones because they're worth £1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got £7. Look at all those coins. How rich you are. Let's have a look at what I've got here. Oh, got a bit of blossom in there as well. So, I've only got 3 coins. Oh dear, this might not be my lucky day. Only 3 coins. But if I have a look at those 3 coins, they are all the same size. Because I put them together, I can see there's not one that's bigger than the other. And they are all perfectly circular. So they must be the bigger £2 coin. And I've got 3 of those. So I'm going to add them up by touching each one twice because it's worth £2 when I add them together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. £6. You could have challenged yourself and counted in twos. 2, 4, 6. We get the same answer. I've got £6. You've got, and hopefully you can see that all on the camera, £7. So this time, even though yes, you did have more coins, and I do advise you to check first, so that doesn't mean you're necessarily more richer. But on this occasion, you are. You've got £7 and I've got £6. Let's try one more before we finish the video. Let's pop these over here. Let's see what am I going to put into your wallet. I'm going to put in your wallet that there, and in mine, okay, so you are wallet number 1. Let's see what you've got inside. So you have got, did a little swap round there because I didn't want to repeat myself. You have got 3 coins. They're not all the same size though. If I hold these ones up, look, there's one that's smaller and one that's bigger. In fact, there's another one here. If I put that in the pile as well, I can see that these 2, the bigger ones, are the same size, but there's one smaller one. Okay, so I've got 2 of the bigger coins. The bigger ones are worth £2 each, and I've got 1 smaller £1. Okay, so I'm going to touch the £2 coins twice when I'm adding them, but I'm only going to touch the £1 coin once because it's only worth £1. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with the £1 coin. Okay, so £5 in your envelope. In my envelope, envelope number 2, Oh, there's quite a lot in here. Let's have a look at what I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coins. Oh, so I've got more coins than you. But remember, that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily richer than you. I have to look at what those coins are worth first, don't I? Okay, so you had £5. Let's have a look at my coins. If I place them one on top of the other, I can see that they are all the same size. There's none poking out that are bigger than the others, okay? So they're all the same size, first of all. The next thing I'm going to do, because they are gold and silver, so that doesn't help me, because those are £2 coins, those are £1 coin. So the next thing I'm going to do is rub my finger around this real £1 coin, this real coin rather, I've given the game away. And yes, it has straight edges, very small ones, but it's not a perfect circle. So I know that that must be the smaller £1 coin. So every time I count these coins, when I add them together, I only touch them once, because they're only worth £1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got £5 in envelope 2, and you had £5 in envelope 1. We've got the same amount of money each. Remember, I've got more coins than you. You've only got 3 coins. I've got 5 coins. But because 2 of your coins are £2 coins, when I add them together, they actually make 5. So we have the same amount of money. Okay, so I'm not richer than you. We have exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to duck down here so you can see on the video. It's been a lovely maths lesson to have you to look at £2 and £1 coins and how we must check which ones they are. It's very important. You can have a chat at home now to your parents. You can describe what a £1 coin is like to them, or a £2 coin. Make sure that you know about their colours, their shape when you run your finger around them, their size. Okay, this is important to tell the difference between the two of them. Okay, otherwise they look quite similar, so you have to peek a little closer or feel them to really know. So that is our first lesson on money. Tomorrow we'll be looking at different coins. We won't be looking at the more the £2 and £1. Okay, so the ones that are worth more money, the pounds. We're going to look at the ones that are worth slightly less, which are the coins that are worth pennies or pence tomorrow. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you tomorrow to tackle some more money lessons. Bye bye.